All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So, we'll just wait for a couple of people to come on the stream. Right at the moment, there's no one, but um, I'll see. We'll see what goes on. Anyway, I decided to sort of live stream a little bit of the ongoing projects that I have right now, and wanted to sort of share what I've been working on. And a lot of these are personal projects of mine, um, vanity projects, and sort of just to see if I could do it, sort of things. So because I work on a lot of kit bashes, I I wanted to put something together to improve the silhouette of the Storm Talon. I think it's Storm Talon gunships. So those are technically the Apaches of the Warhammer 40k world. It's a Space Marine flyer, and I wanted to put this together to sort of improve that silhouette. And it was quite simple actually. If you notice, actually, without the tail, it's just a vanilla Storm Talon. But what I did, well, it's a vanilla Storm Talon with a couple of very mild changes. The missile pods were brought from the nose. They were brought from that nose up to the side. But in addition to that, what I did was I added this tail section. That was quite easy to do. I didn't have to do any cutting on the Storm Talon tail. All I needed to do was sort of pin this section, and this section is from a currently obsolete vehicle. It's actually from the drop pod, and I'm gonna grab my drop pod bits, and you're gonna have a look at the part that I used for this section. Son of a bitch. This is what happens when you're not fucking prepared for a live stream. Right. Damn it, wrong box. So I do have a fair number of projects, and they are all sort of organized in little project boxes. So the drawback is that if I want a project box that's really far back, especially for a project that is technically completed and closed, I have to go reach all the way back to the back of my shelf to get it. But so what I wanted to show you is that tail section is actually one of these. So these are your drop pod wings. Your old Space Marine drop pods. That's what they look like. You get 5 of them with every drop pod set. I had one lying around. I had one assembled and painted in some shitty old Blood Angel colors. I basically took them apart, snapped them off, and the result is something like that. And this section makes a very nice tail for your Storm Talon. I'm just going to take out that thing for now. So your Storm Talon, it's basically a normal Storm Talon with that tail extension from a drop pod. I eyeballed, as always, the section here that I liked, just basically cut it down with a hobby saw. That was a very, very fast procedure. And then following that, I had to, well, if you don't pin it, you're in for trouble. I can hold this bad boy up like this, and I'm not afraid of it falling apart, because what I did was I pinned both sides together with 2 lengths of florist wire, and they're pretty long. I think they reach at least 10 millimeters in on each side. So that's very solid. And then I moved the tail elevators far back here. Let's just check the chat and see some of this. Oh yeah, yeah, I have a lot of this. So this, it says Warhound 1 because I actually had this harebrained idea to kit bash 2 Storm Talons, 2 Drop Pods, and 2 Razorbacks into a Warhound Proxy. I decided to fuck that to the wind because I couldn't be asked to sort of conceive of the engineering required to do that. Moreover, which leads us into a sneak peek to what I'm going to show after this, is that the reason why I gave up on that Warhound project was because I started designing some of my own miniatures. And this is a Modifier Proxy, a Modifier being the walker from the Sisters of Battle Codex. It's not a bad miniature, but I sort of wanted one that looked like a fucking walking Catholic church. So I designed this and I printed it out on a Anycubic Photon. That's what I'm going to show next. And the reason why I stopped working on Warhound was because I got a 3D printer. So I decided instead of kit bashing it, I would just design one and print it out. But let's wrap up what I have here. So I have 2, and I just kind of like to show and tell what I envisioned. So as some of you may or may not know, I've got a homebrew. I've got a homebrew Space Marines chapter. There's sort of an Ultima founding chapter, only Primaris. Yes, I know the Tech Marines that fly these things are not Primaris, but fuck that. Okay, let's just pretend that they are. And I wanted them to be reasonable Marines. And reasonable Marines insofar as they didn't have like scraps of paper hanging off, their armor. They didn't have relics and skulls on their armor. They would be reasonable Marines. They wouldn't have a fire hazard pasted onto the outside. So there was this sort of Air Force naval aviator, really Top Gun kind of theme, 80s throwback to those old military movies of the 80s. So I came out with sort of a color scheme that was sort of flat gray USAF colors, and I created these Apache style gunships. I'm just gonna walk over and look at the chat. Yeah, the cylinder on top. So this, okay, so they're all magnetized. So I've got this, and I was talking about doing sort of an Apache style gunship. And back in the late 80s and early 90s, there was a variant of the Apache called the Longbow. And the Longbow had sort of fire and forget weapons. That was the Hellfire missiles that were, instead of infrared guided, they were radar guided. And those Apaches had a sort of a sensor package at the top, on top of the rotor blades. And that would allow it to sort of pop up from behind cover, just have that sensor exposed, and sort of blind fire the Hellfire missiles at enemies. That was sort of the thing that I wanted to pay homage to. And so that's what I built, that sort of an homage to the Longbow Apache kind of silhouette and outline. On the battlefield, I know it's still just a Storm Talon, but I sort of wanted that. And I built one without to sort of differentiate sort of your sensor-laden gunship compared to your sort of more weapons-focused gunship. They are magnetized. Mainly for ease of transport, I can't take these things out. I've got some nice rare earth magnets there, and they would just snap on, and they're interchangeable too. I can sort of swap swap out their weapons. I can pop off these fronts as well, and then attach the last cannon variant on this. Although I didn't paint the last cannons, I made it for the looks, more for the flavor. So I decided I didn't want more guns. I wanted missiles because they look cool. So that's what I did. Com Nagram says, I love your theming for these. Thank you so much. Onto the colors. So the camo that I picked was sort of a what was that? Marine Krieger naval camouflage. That was the World War II German Navy camouflage, where they have their ships and it would just be this big harsh iceberg angles on the side. So that's what they're going to look like. All my vehicles will look like this. The camel cloaks for my eliminators will have this theme as well. But the rest of the armor is either going to be a dark gray, sort of a dark sea gray. I use sea gray from Vallejo. I believe it's Vallejo. Could have been Emilmake. No, if I remember correctly, I'm using a dark sea gray from Vallejo Acrylics for the main armor. You can see that I didn't use a lot of metallics as well. I didn't want any exposed metal in a reasonable sort of military force. You want to paint over exposed metal so that the gleam, does not give away your position. So that's what I did. But Slaneshi boy in me wanted to sort of mix things up and shake things up a bit. So these canopies, they are actually airbrushed on the inside so that you get the gloss. But they're airbrushed on the inside with a iridescent paint. You can see that this one's called Orange Flash, and you can see that it shines pink at certain angles, and it's orange more. So it's almost sort of got this G.I. Joe kind of feel, which, as being a son of the 80s, I couldn't resist, having that little callback as well. So this is sort of the vehicle theme for my my homebrew chapter. A Dark Initiative. I don't blame you. Nothing better than building for lore and than what's good. Exactly. Everyone's playing the meta game now, and I can't tell you how many times I've been fucked by Iron Hands. And I said, hey, fuck that lah. If everybody just wants to play the meta game, you're not gonna win at the meta game, especially if you're on a budget. So might as well have fun. And I have the most fun in kit bashing and customizing. So that's what I did. So last thing before we move on to the next item is these decals. If you look closely, you can see that I have sort of decals all over my gunships. You can see I have like some white text there, and that's not freehand. I mean, I like freehanding, but I'm not a painting god. But you can see all these little decals, and even on the engine, you can see that orange triangle and all that. So all this were actually from decal kits, water slide transfer kits that are actually meant for mecha, plastic like Gundam mecha. They're third party. They are just random sort of caution labels, hazard stripes, do not open, be careful, dangerous when hot, electricity, high voltage warnings, and things like that. And I just basically stuck them, all over to give that, reasonable Marines feel. So that's what I have. So I'm going to move on to the next thing, but this is not the last time you'll see these guys, because there's going to be something in the future, and I'll give you a sneak peek of that. So on the back of these, you'll see that I have battery packs. These are CR2032 batteries. They're 3 volts. They're good enough to run one LED for a pretty damn long time. And I've got an LED in right in there. So I'll be wiring these up. These are not done wiring up yet, right? So like I said, these are not the last time you'll see these guys. Once they are wired up, there's a little surprise inside. A nice self-contained package. I don't have to run any wires into a base. Everything's contained, and I can play with them. And I do like to play with them. These are toys. I like toys. Okay, so I'm gonna put these on the shelf, and we're gonna talk about this one. So this one's an exciting thing. I was going to say, Gundam have a great source for realistic. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I build Gundams on the side as well. Maybe I'll show you one later. But yeah, I build Gundams on the side as well. They've got some very good third-party water slide transfers. The Gundam stickers tend to be very shitty quality, but I do like the third-party water slides. So I'm going to put these guys back, and we'll talk about my Modifier. So this is a Modifier Proxy that I designed from scratch. Disclaimer, I was trained as a 3D modeler, so I do have a academic training in 3D modeling. So I did build this in 3D software, and then printed it out on a Anycubic Photon. That's a resin SLA printer. It's not perfect. It does have sort of some print errors. It's kind of gets lumpy at certain places, which I'm not very happy with. But at the end of the day, it's satisfactory. I like the sort of Modifier that did come out. Although, like I mentioned before, I wanted it to look like the church because I wanted to yell "Everybody gangster" till the church start walking when putting this on the table. So you can just basically take a meme and then just take it way too far, and then the meme gets out of date, and now you're left with this. Well, so eventually I want to maybe produce this, maybe sell it online. I will probably need to Kickstarter this because I'll have to build a mold for this. I decided that it would be untenable to print 100 of these, assuming I do sell 100. I think it's untenable to print any more than 30 of these. In fact, the labor will be too much. It's too labor intensive to print, clean, and assemble these and send them out. So I might do a Kickstarter where I get funded to make molds of these and cast them instead of print them. That'll speed things up. Casting is labor intensive, but nowhere as near labor intensive as printing them individually out of just one printer. I only have one 3D printer, so that wouldn't work. I was a little bit doubtful about adding this many smokestacks in the back. The sort of pipe organ style thing. Oh wait, Dark Initiative. Will it be broken into parts or just all together? So I can. When I print it, it's in parts. When I print it, the shoulder pads, arms, and weapons are separate. The leg is just one large leg, although I presumably can separate them at the knee so that you can pose it. So technically, this is a multi-part kit. This is more posable than the one that you get out of the new Sisters of Battle box set. Not the multi-part kit that you get individually, but definitely more posable than the one in the Sisters set. The Modifier is equipped with the buzzsaw, the buzz blades, but I decided that this sort of baby Imperial Knight chainsaw would have been a much better choice. I also did something quite experimental in this case. I printed grooves in the I designed the 3D model with grooves in the blade, so you could paint hazard stripes more easily. Um, Basically, you don't have to sort of mark it out with masking tape, or have a steady hand. You can just brush over the raised sections with black, and you get your hazard stripe. So I thought that would be an interesting thing. And Games Workshop has never done that, and I don't know why. I think it would make life a lot easier rather than having to freehand everything in. So that's the thing. Dark Initiative, I love that set. It has a lot of extra parts, especially for, yes, it does. It's actually a pretty good set. I actually had the opportunity to have a close look at it, and I'm actually very happy with the standalone set. So this is what I'm currently working on in terms of 3. There will be a variant. There will be a penitent engine variant where instead of this shrine, this church-like shrine with the angel inside, I'll take it all out and have sort of a crucified naked lady in the middle, um, the bad lady who's being punished. Because Games Workshop is way too vanilla for me, and I want something a little bit more edgy. So, Crucified Naked Lady coming soon once I figure out how to make a nice looking Crucified Naked Lady. So that's that. You do have, I do want to do the flails as well, sort of an Omega Red style flail coming out from the middle of his palm. That'll be quite nice. This is a Heavy Bolter Proxy. And what else? What else? The fleur de lis. I basically modeled my own fleur de lis uh, sort of a relief pattern and just basically put it everywhere because that was fun and kind of. I hope I didn't go overboard. I have like 4 of them on the crotch plate and 1 on each thigh. But yeah, so this is coming soon. Hopefully once I refine this model, I'll do some nice ball joints. No, then I'll be able to sell this. So what's next? What I'm currently working on. This is an exciting one. I've been spending the last, I guess, 5 months or so working on and off on Abaddon the Despoiler, and here he is. So I'm in the middle of painting him right now. He's already been assembled and all wired up. Fun thing about Abaddon in this case is I've magnetized his shoulder pads. You can take them off and you can actually armor him up like Iron Man at the beginning of your game. I'm gonna show that to you. I'm gonna read the chat first. Totally not Slanesh in nature or anything. Time for some Daughters of Darkness. Yeah, for sure. Come on, Sister of Battle, the new Sister of Battle. I've mentioned this before. The armor looks nice. The sculpts look really great. The multi-part kits look awesome, but their faces look like ass. There are a lot of my current clients coming to me now and saying, hey, since you're doing 3D printing, can you print out some nice faces for my Sisters of Battle? It's kind of a fucking waste that the Sisters of Battle, they look pretty good. I'll give you that. But all of them are like the fucking paperback face sisters. So yeah, I'll be printing out some nice faces for some of my clients, Sisters of Battle, just so that they don't have that shitty face sculpt. And yes, definitely suitable for Daughters of Darkness after that. Might do some variant parts, make them a little bit more naughty as well. But anyway, back to Abaddon. So, what's so special about fucking Abaddon? Everyone's been painting Abaddon. It's been done to death. Why do another Abaddon? Why spend close to 5 months on just one thing? Well, I'll show you why. Brace yourself. Haha. So, what I've been doing with Abaddon is I've been wiring him up with that battery pack again, and that on-off switch, so that Abaddon can actually look like his artwork. So he's got a light. He's got a light under his chin and one behind his head, and obviously his Talon of Horus has muzzle flash. And I can't tell you how long it took for me to do this. I do have a tutorial. I have a walkthrough of this on my channel somewhere, and you can find that. Dark Initiative. And here comes Joan Rivers Law. I've seen people use female Stormcast. Yes, actually the Stormcast Eternal hits are good as well, but I still stand by the fact that Games Workshop cannot model faces, male nor female. Just can't do that shit. So, well, that is badass on so many levels. Thank you so much. It took me a long time to do this, but I do have a build log for the wiring of the LEDs, and I also talk about the kind of LEDs that I use for this particular model. And now I'm going to start taking them apart. I can show you. So his shoulder pads are magnetized, so I can pop them off. And the shoulder pads are now they're being done in sort of a non-metallic metal. I'm not sure if you can see it. They're being done in NMM, both shoulder pads. All the gold trim on him is done in NMM. So that leaves Abaddon like this. And so let's continue this little striptease with his top knot. That just shoves into his head. You never really have to glue this piece in ever, even if you don't want it to fall off. It still stays in his head pretty snug because there's a deep hole in the top of his head. And then his breastplate is gonna just pop off like so. Please don't break. Please don't break. Son of a bitch. There you go. So his breastplate pops off. That can be set aside, and you can see his chin light and the armor, where I just basically did some little bit of highlighting on the pipes. His belt comes off, the loincloth comes off, but I don't want to take them off anymore because every time I do that, I'm afraid that I'll break it off. And also, since I've already clear coated that section, I kind of don't want to mess it up. I haven't done the back of his sword. I haven't done most of his sword, but most of his gold trim has been painted up already. And that's Abaddon. I really fell in love with this kit. I would build him again in a heartbeat. This guy is really fun to build and really fun to paint. And I think this was designed by Darren Latham. So kudos to Darren Latham for designing this kit. It is a masterpiece, and it really does do justice to good old Abaddon. Funny enough, I will be building and painting classic Abaddon for a client's project pretty soon. So while he may never match this, I will be doing the classic one in classic Abaddon colors, and that'll be quite fun too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back together, and we will segue into classic miniatures. And while I do that, we can talk about how some of our new Games Workshop minis look like ass, but not all of them. I was kind of doubtful with the new Jane Zar mini. She doesn't have that big hair 80s charm that the old one did. Even though she has big hair, she doesn't have big hair, that stereotypical heavy metal magazine kind of big hair. So I got my hands on classic Jane Zar, and I'm painting her in dark gray, almost black armor, because I think she looks better that way. But she's still a joy to paint. Honestly, I had so much fun painting her. I'm still working on her armor. I have not started on her weapon. I've done all this in Zenithal. Laughs in furies. Oh yeah. Anyway, I still like this. I haven't done her weapon yet, but I'm still very, very taken with the classic Jane Zar. I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to come in as some kind of asshole elitist that says, "Oh no, the minis are never like they used to be," because no, some of the new miniatures are pretty good. The old, were they Jess Goodwin? I think Jess Goodwin scouts for the Daemonettes were pretty nice. But all in all, I think they are doing a rather passable, decent job with the new miniatures, with a few exceptions because they still can't do faces. But that's my Janeza. Big red hair, a lot of zenithal highlighting for her, just to get the nice definition on the armor and the highlights and everything. And this will go up on my Instagram. So the old seekers. Oh yes, the new seekers are a little bit too vanilla for me. The old seekers were pretty nice. They're pretty creepy looking, so I really like those. You have to give it to them. Some of the old scouts really are better than the current ones. But yeah, so I am working on Jane's. She's going to be done soon. And while I'm on that, let's talk about some non-GW stuff. So again, that good old battery pack. I found these in a game shop, and these are I don't know which brand makes this. They make miniatures for D&D. So I wanted to build some of these for my DM, who works so hard to write stories and cope with our bullshit. So I wanted to get some of these, and the cool thing about these minis is that they have transparent parts. So the fire is it is transparent. It's sold in a blister pack, unpainted, white, but it has transparent fire. And the great thing about that is that I can drill out the base and stick an LED inside. Nolzors? What's Nol? Oh, I'm not familiar with. Is that Chaos? Nolzor? What? I totally don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Back then I didn't play Chaos. But anyway, yeah. So I stuck an LED inside, and these are the kind that flicker. They've got like a fire effect, so they kind of flicker like a flame. Yeah, yes, maybe. Doesn't ring a bell. The name of that company doesn't ring a bell at all. Maybe. I wish I could help you. I might go back to the shop and just try and find out what they were. They're always next to the Reaper minis. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to find out what they are. Okay, the contacts are a bit loose on this guy. Yeah. Okay. So I've got another one as well, and the contacts on this one not so loose. So I'm going to paint this up and give it to my DM as a gift. We are doing a lot of campaigns now that I guess are specifically in this aesthetic, but eventually will. So we'll do that. I got to fix the contacts on this one, but this one's pretty good. It's pretty well built, very solid. I can throw it and it's still gonna work. So this one's definitely going to my DM. That'll make our games a little bit more fun. And finally, last but not least, kind of a project of mine. I am working on a plastic model kit of the mechanical moving wing XWing from Bandai. I really love this kit. I was so happy to see this on discount. I bought it right away. I didn't hesitate. So now I'm painting all the sub assemblies. I will have to mask out certain sections. I've already primed the inside in black. So I'll have to mask out those sections. But I want to show you this. I know this is not the final effect, and it might not do it justice, but this fucking thing has light and sound. It's a toy, and I love toys. Okay, let's plug that in. Plug in this damn thing. So this thing has lights. So those are the engine lights, the bright red. I considered rewiring this with pink LEDs because that's more screen accurate. I might do that with pink LEDs instead. And then you've got the LEDs for the cockpit, which actually just lights up the targeting computer on the console. But what I did was I drilled out sections of the cover of the console so that I could install fiber optic, so that would lead out to little pinpricks of light on the console as well. And I was very happy with that. I'm going to do this, but check this out. Proton torpedo sounds and proton torpedo lights on the side. I'm going to show you that again. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. I know, cheap thrills, but I'm very happy with that. And also the wings. Look at that. Look at that. Who couldn't love that? I was so happy with this. I got so motherfucking hard when I saw this on sale, and I get so motherfucking hard when I'm painting this sub-assembly. You have no idea. This is a dream kit for me. I'm so happy to finally get my hands on one of these. So working on a couple other sub-assemblies, you can see that, you know, engines, spray paint black, dry brush silver, lead belcher, among other things. So I'm still working on all the sub-assemblies. So very happy with this guy. He comes with a seated pilot for the cockpit. He also comes with a standing pilot. There we go. I'm very happy with this. And that's it for the live stream. These are the things that I are currently on my desk for projects. I do have a lot more projects. I have a lot of gray plastic. I don't want to think about it. I'm going to show you. That's right. Still not done. Bought it months ago. Still a box of shame. I did pull out some parts from this to kit bash to my chapter master. I'm going to show you my chapter master actually. So again, because I'm working on reasonable marines, a reasonable marines chapter, chapter master's got to be sort of reasonable as well, but you still got to have that over the top. I will take that burden, brother. He's still got to be a little bit over the top. He is a chapter master after all. So I decided to go with a Raven Guard, a Raven Guard Codex. So chapter master is going to be a proxy Caven Shrike. So I went out and got Caven Shrike. I used a couple pieces of his sprue. I took the Full Boss Librarian from the Shadow Spear set, kit bashed them, and I have this. I'm pretty happy with what I got. So, Full Boss Librarian body, right? Caven Shrike's backpack, so it's basically fucking flies, and those are revolvers. He has revolvers. He has dual wielding revolvers. That's as far over the top as I want, and I think it's fucking over the top already. So he's got dual revolvers. I found the biggest irons I could find in the Warhammer 40k universe. Those are from the Goliath Necromunda Goliath Gangers set. They come with some big ass revolvers that will do justice to his Primaris, his big chunky Primaris fists. So, Big Iron, Chapter Master, Caven Shrike, Proxy, for my reasonable Marines. He flies, he's got a trench coat, and he's got dual wielding suppressed revolvers. But I hear you say, Caven Shrike has lightning claws. The fuck are you going to do with lightning claws? Because he's going to have a melee attack. What is his melee attack? He's going to have ravens. He's going to have birdies that follow him around that peck people when they come too close. They're probably going to be cyber ravens. I'll probably probably pull out some of the skulls and stick it on the head of the raven. So it's going to be a cyber raven with laser eyes. It's kind of like pass for his melee attack. So he's going to be on this base. He's going to be leaping over the base, and he's going to have the "Come on, man, do you want to live forever?" And this is my chapter master. I'm very happy with him, and I think that. Oh yeah, and here's another box of shame. These are all the special characters. So I tell you how shameful. This is how shameful I am. Phobos Lieutenant. Mephiston. I started building Mephiston, and then I got interested in other shit, and I stopped building him. Mephiston's not done yet. I was supposed to finish this ages ago. My Phobos Librarian was started, not finished. I've got a whole bunch of bits for my Storm Talons, which you saw earlier, which are supposed to be painted as well, so I can swap out the last cannons. Yes, I know I said I wanted missiles only, but that was a lie. I was just too lazy to do the last cannons. So yes, it's another box of shame. And you saw this one, which is also another box of shame. And then the first one that you saw. So yeah, it happens. It happens. See, Warhound 1, Warhound 2. Such is man's hubris. Okay, so thank you, both of you, for tuning into my live stream. I'll probably live stream a lot more and just rant and just shoot the shit, because I've kind of been too busy with projects to sort of edit videos. I will come back and edit videos again. I still need to finish my masterclass on doing what they call it, fiber optic eyeballs. So I will come back to that pretty soon. But in the meantime, you can just subscribe. That's what YouTubers say. Like and subscribe and hit that notification button so that you know when I'm going to live stream again. A lot of shit going on. I probably will get pretty ranty about the new releases from G-Dubs. Yeah, so I'm gonna you're a badass when you do wielding silence. Exactly. You're a badass when you do it. And with those words of wisdom from Dark Initiative, you're a badass when you're dual wielding silence revolvers. Good night, everyone, and take care. I cannot say much. I have 4 armies. I'm just separating them into 4 different boxes, including the bits. So yeah, but I still love my crack. Yeah, I still love my crack. Okay, so take care, everyone. It's been a blast. Take care. Goodbye. Oh! Please comment if my volume is weird or too soft. Please comment if my background music is too loud. And if my lighting is, I know my lighting is shitty. You don't have to tell me my lighting is shitty, but comment anyway and tell me how shitty my lighting is. Okay. Take care. End of stream. I love you guys.